What's on, guys? Jay Hoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 2 of our franchise mode with the Buffalo Sabres. We are back here at the start of the off-season. So this one's going to be a little bit of a longer one. I'll try to cut out the boring parts, do a little bit of a better job at that, given what the off-season is. So we are starting at the entry-level draft, and I don't actually remember what pick. Actually, I think we got the 16th pick, if I remember correctly. Draft board is where I want to go. So take a look at our picks. So projected picks. Yep, so we have the 16th, and whatever it is, double in the second round. So we didn't trade for any picks, so we don't have a 5th round pick this year, but we have some decent picks, as you saw, watch listed and saved, to hopefully we get some of those guys. So what I did do, I believe, at the last episode is I edited the trade block, and yes, I did. So what I did is I adjusted all of the wants and our surplus and threw a couple players over here on the trade block. So one of them being Jordan Greenway. So he is anticipated to be a 4th liner for us. And when we look at our team and kind of what we need and what we will be doing going forward, we have guys around that are good enough to be there. Plus, a guy that's a 4th liner does not deserve $3 million, in my opinion. So, we have a guy like Eric Robinson here if we need him. We also have some other guys that we can kind of put in that spot. Plus, the amount of young players that we need to get in the lineup and kind of, get them going a little bit, is pretty important here. So, I don't know what we're going to do as far as who to replace him with, but we need him off the roster. We need that $3 million off the roster. And we will go from there. As far as defensively go, exactly what I said. What's his name? Matthias Samuelsson. Although he does have good stats, kind of overall. 24 years old, 82 overall, top 4 potential. If he didn't get signed to that contract, I would absolutely keep him. But if you give a look at what the rest of our team is doing and what kind of his role is and how much money some of these guys are making, is we need to clean that up. Especially with 2 of the bigger extensions, both being Dahlin and Owen Power. So we have those 2 guys. We want to build around those guys. We want to have, a solid team. We want to build around, our young centers. We want to build around all these guys, but we can't do that with, some of these players making a crap ton of money. So we're going to try to trade those guys away. We're going to go try to big in the offseason, see what we can do and get done. But let's go see what we can do in the draft. If we don't get anything interesting, nothing really happens. You won't see much of it anyway, and we'll get right into the re-sign stage. So we did just trade away Jordan Greenway over to the Calgary Flames in exchange for prospect Cole Schmidt. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. But we also traded a 7th round pick along with him because, again, who really wants that contract? But we get a prospect right wing in the deal and add to our depth on the AHL side. Well, I think I might have found a pretty decent trade, so we're going to go through it kind of quick. So we're actually going over to the Vegas boys in Nevada, and we'll be trading away Matthias Samuelsson, who, again, has that big-time contract, and given what we want to do, it's going to be so hard to keep him around for that. And although we could play, either Dahlin or Power on the right, I don't really want to do that. I really like having a left and a right if possible, handedness that is. But we're going to go over to Vegas in this case. They have offered up, this is on the fine trade part of it, they offered off Caden Korchek, and I have this guy on my hut team. I don't remember his first name. Matthias, don't really know. Sopolev. I know it's going to go through because that's what they offered. But let's send this. But we're going to send this through, make it all work. You know, we do get 2 prospects in this deal, which is pretty big. And, you know, obviously, given our situation right now, that will definitely help. Plus, I've had Korchek in some franchise modes this year, you know, off camera, off YouTube, and he's actually done pretty well. He ends up fitting in kind of on like a second line, kind of fill in, two-way type role, and I feel like that's going to be pretty big for our team. So, let's send that through. There it is. You know, we do clear some salary, and not that the goal was to really clear a ton of salary this offseason, but those 2 guys are probably better off somewhere else. So here we are in the first round, 16th overall, and we are down to kind of a couple of choices here, and I'm trying to figure out what would be the best 1-2 picks. So although Hemming does look pretty good, we're actually going to trade back, see if we can get additional picks or something, and get back a couple of picks if we can. So we did end up trading back. We got an additional 4th round draft pick this year, and I feel pretty confident in taking Richie here. There is a couple other guys down here that I did kind of, you know, watch list, if you will, or pin there. Silver side on Mark Messier, so that's a pretty darn good comparison. But B's across the board. He might take an extra year or so to get ready. Similar to this guy. I mean, he's a big power forward type guy. But in this case, we're going to take Richie. That's the guy we kind of targeted early on. And, yeah, exactly why. So, we take a look back at pick before, and that is Hemming, right? 70 overall, top 6 medium potential. We look at our pick, Richie, left wing, 74 overall, top 6 medium potential. So, same type of potential, 4 overall better. So, hopefully, he will make a big impact for our squad. So, here we are in the re-sign stage. We actually had a pretty good draft. A lot of our players were not terrible. So the first like 5 rounds, I believe, all were like low 60s with like, you know, decent potential, not great, but decent potential. So I'm pretty excited about that. Other than that, we made a couple of super minor trades of just old guys we weren't going to re-sign, you know, or AHL guys that are like too old to really make an impact of doing anything. But here we are. Like I said, re-sign stage. We have $25 million in cap space following both trades. We didn't really go acquire anybody, so the re-sign stage is here. So who do we got? Casey Middlestat. What are you looking for? So although you do not want a big time salary, we're gonna give you a qualifying offer, $2.5 million. Tyson Jost, whatever it may be. I don't really want to give you $2 million. I'll be honest. But I will sign you for 2 years at $1.5 million. I feel like that is perfect. And if you don't want to sign for that, Jurgensen, I will offer you the same sort of deal. 1 year, $1.5 million. All the AHL guys I will go back and figure out. Our left wings. Here we go. So Olofsson's going to be the kind of most notable one. Okay, so 5 years at 5.8. And you kind of want to stick around that price, it looks like. So we'll come back to you here in a second. Peyton Krebs, you want a little bit of a deal, but let's give you a qualifying offer. Eric Robinson, if you want a low deal, I wouldn't mind keeping you around. Let's go 1 year, 1.25, and then Olofsson. What do we want to say about you? So 28 years old. I don't know when your birthday is, but how about we go with like I think, because we got Benson, we got Krebs, we got Kulich, we got Rosen. So I don't want to commit to super long term with anybody right now until we get kind of our superstars and our young players kind of up with the program. Because right now, Skinner making $9 million to not even go point per game. That's a lot of money. So, Olofsson. How about we go 3 years at 4.75. Let's try to get him as a little bit of a bargain. Because what I'm thinking is Benz will probably be good enough by then. You'll probably have one of Kulich or Rosen fighting for a spot. Krebs will be fighting for a spot this year. And we'll be going from there. Our right wings we don't actually have a lot of. So we have a couple of guys that are going to be wanting contracts next year. So if you want a decent deal, okay, so Basically 1 year at $1 million is basically what we're going to offer you. I mean, you haven't been playing great by any means, but you've been pretty much an icon of this team. So we'll give you 1 year of this new system, if you will, and I guess we'll see how you do. All right, back to defense. We got Erik Johnson wanting a contract. Not terrible. Then we have a bunch of guys down here that all need contracts. So we got a couple of guys to make some decisions about. So we already know what Johnson wants. He wants, it's like $2 million at 2 point something million dollars. And then as far as the rest of these guys go, we just released one of them because they're not going to play a lot and they're not going to be worth the money they're asking. Cale Clay, you were like a first-round pick, right? Am I making that up? No, second-round pick. But you were like a good prospect at one point. So you've kind of bounced around a bunch, but you actually did well last year. What are you saying? So you want a big kind of contract, but we'll give you a qualifying offer. If you want to keep that, then perfect. If not, I'll probably end up trading you because we can't have that. We can't have these third-line guys making a ton of money. Jacob Bryson, whatever it may be. Good year last year as far as points go, but I definitely don't want to spend that kind of money on you. What do you want for qualifying? 1.8? What in the world? Alright, so how about we offer you $1 million at 1 year to try to get rid of that. Yoki Haru, 2.5 on the qualifying, or we could probably sign him to a little bit less here. So let's try that first. Johnson, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with you. Because you were in Colorado for a long time, 22 points. I'm not really paying too much attention to, the stats, but just trying to figure out where they're going to fit here. Because obviously we got Clifton. If Yoki Haru resigns, then we really just need one kind of right defenseman. Then our defense is already set. So maybe we'll give him 1 year. What do you want for 1 year? 1 year, 2.7? How about 1 year at $2 million, and we'll call that even. And then our goaltenders, oh boy, everybody does not have a contract. So we're going to release you. I guess we'll sign you. Then we basically have 4 goalies that are all like NHL. So obviously we want you back because we want you to be part of this. So we'll give you a qualifying offer. Comrie did okay. He was our backup last year. So if we what do you want for a contract? What do you want for a contract? So I really want to re-sign Comrie. Let's give him 1 at 1. Love that kind of deal. Get rid of Tokarski. And then we'll sign 1 more goalie to be in the AHL. And then we'll have a battle for the NHL spots. Because, like I said last year, I don't want to have Luukkonen or Levi just not playing. I want them to get a bunch of games to get better. So here we are at the free agency portion of the offseason, and we signed pretty much everybody that we truly wanted to. There was a couple of like fourth liners, Gergensen and Robinson, that did not want to sign extensions. However, I think we did actually offer Robinson and a contract. Yeah, so I offered him, I think it was 1 year, 1.25. Maybe we'll get him at 1.5. I'm not sure. But then pretty much the rest of them are all AHL guys. So that's all we needed for the most part. We also had, we offered Marc-Andre Fleury, and of course Luukkonen's ours anyway, but we offered him a contract. Then we also offered Fleury 1 year, $3 million as a, let's hope that this kind of enables our young goaltenders to battle him for the starting spot. And that's what I'm kind of hoping for this year. I mean, worst case scenario, hopefully, Fleury provides a little bit of leadership, a little bit of veteran leadership from the goaltender position, and we'll go from there. But for the most part, like I said, we are pretty much solid throughout our entire team as far as numbers go, at least. Yeah, so we offered a bunch of coaches, some scouts, players, lots of stuff. So let's see who actually signs with our team. Well, we did it. We made it through our first big offseason with the Sabres organization, and our team looks relatively the same. Of course, we added in some support pieces, and we're going to have a pretty good battle here in the preseason. So before we get into it, we did sign a couple of familiar faces. Gergensons is back with us. He ended up signing a 2-year, $1.25 million contract. Yost is back with us. Waiting out kind of helped us in this one. 2 years, $1.5 million. We do have Middlestat back. He did sign again, waited it out, and he signed a reduced contract. Obviously, the other two guys are there. As far as our left wings go, we made a couple of moves to fix our AHL team as far as overly populated left wings. So we have lots of young players on our left wing side. So Skinner, you better watch out, because that contract for 3 more years and all these guys coming up behind you is going to be good test for you, that's for sure. Left wings is going to be a battle in preseason as well, because, I mean, we already got Skinner, we got Olofsson, we got Krebs, we got Benson, and then, of course, we got the young guys behind them. Right wings looks pretty much the same. We filled in the spots with some younger players. There actually is a couple players on the free agency list, including Blake Wheeler, 85 overall, along with Corey Perry, 84 overall for him. So I might get one of them to kind of replace Okposo, just because, you know, that is 6 overall better. So I kind of feel that that might be something we could look into. Our defense looks pretty much the same as where we left it. We just obviously re-signed some guys and got, you know, some younger players in. Defense, we did end up signing Fleury, 1 year, $3 million. We do have Luukkonen and Levi. Both those guys will be up fighting for a spot in the preseason. We do have to sign one more AHL goaltender. I'm working on that. But for the most part, we're in a solid spot. I mean, we kind of did exactly what we wanted to do. You know, sign what we need to, but also let the young players develop and get into those big time roles. So, you know, it's going to be a pretty good battle here in the preseason. We're going to have to do it at another time, though, but we'll let you guys know at the start of next video who makes our NHL team for next year. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below if you haven't yet, or if you're brand new here, make sure to subscribe and comment what you guys think down below. But as always, guys, we'll see you